Have you ever looked at someone weathering a storm, a real life altering hurricane, and just thought, how do they do that? How do they stand so strong and steady when everything around them is crumbling? It's almost like they possess some secret superpower, right? But here's the truth, and it might just change everything for you. The most resilient people aren't superhuman, they're just intensely sensitive, and they've simply mastered a few tiny, almost invisible habits that most of us, well, we just overlook. We skip right past them in our rush for big, dramatic solutions. But what if I told you that the secret to cultivating that unshakable inner strength, that mental steel, isn't about some grueling 7-step morning routine that demands you wake up before the sun even thinks about rising? What if it's not about fluff or complicated theories, but about micro practices so simple, so seamlessly woven into your day, you can practically do them between sips of your morning coffee? Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'm not just telling you about these habits. I'm handing you the exact 5 micro practices that psychologists are now calling the cheat code to mental steel. This isn't just about theory. It's a blueprint for bending without breaking, for finding your footing when the ground beneath you feels like it's shifting. Get ready, because your inner fortress is about to get a serious upgrade. Life is always moving, like waves on the ocean. Some rise gentle, some crash hard, but every wave carries the chance to begin again. I'm Vanessa, and welcome to Waves of Change, a space for mindset, mindfulness, and the things that truly matter. Together we'll pause, breathe, and remember, you're never too late, and your peace is never too far. For the past 2 decades, I've had the profound privilege of working on the front lines of human resilience. As a recreational therapist for 20 years, and more recently as a mind-body wellness coach for our nation's veterans, I've witnessed firsthand what it takes to persist through profound pressure. I've moved past the academic and applied practical, potent principles in the lives of people who live and breathe tenacity. And today, I'm not just talking theory. I'm condensing 2 decades of dedicated deep dive work into 5 actionable habits you can start practicing before this video is even over. Think about that for a moment. Meaningful, manageable change in just minutes. My promise to you is plain and simple. By the end of this video, you'll possess a practical playbook to navigate life's inevitable and infuriating interruptions, to bend deeply without breaking. You'll discover how to not just endure the difficult days, but to emerge from them. There's a wonderfully weird, almost magical habit involving your tongue that I guarantee you've never heard of before. It sounds wild, but trust me, it's a total game changer. Let's stop the chatter about what could be and start building what will be. Let's dive straight into the first habit. And this one is pure gold for anyone who's ever felt that familiar knot of anxiety tightening in their stomach, or that sudden fiery flash of fury. This is the fastest, most direct way to stop a stress spiral dead in its track. You ready for it? Name the emotion. That's it. Just name it. While that powerful chemical surge is still under 90 seconds before it fully takes hold and starts dictating your entire state, you utter its name. Now, this isn't some new age mantra. This is pure hard science. Harvard brain scans have shown us something truly remarkable. When people silently or even softly say to themselves, "I'm feeling anxious right now," or "Wow, I'm absolutely furious about this," something profound happens in the brain. The activity in your amygdala, that primal part of your brain responsible for your fight, flight, or freeze response, actually drops. It downshifts within 60 seconds. Think about that. You're not trying to fight the emotion. You're not trying to suppress it or pretend it's not there, because we all know how well that works, right? You're simply acknowledging it, giving it a label. But here's the crucial nuance, the real cheat code within the cheat code: specificity. This isn't about a vague generalization. Saying I feel bad is like trying to fix a complex machine with a wrench that's too big for any of the bolts. It's too broad, too nebulous. Your brain needs more precision. Instead of I feel bad, try I feel disappointed. Instead of I feel stressed, try I feel overwhelmed or I feel frustrated. Because the more granular, the more precise that label is, the quicker your nervous system settles and shifts. It's like your brain goes, okay, I understand this specific signal. I could process this. It moves from a general alarm to a targeted understanding. Don't just take my word for it. Try it right now. Think of something that's been nagging at you. That email you've been dreading opening, that conversation you need to have, or that task looming over your head. Now, instead of letting that vague sense of unease just float around, label it. Is it dread? Is it procrastination anxiety? Is it irritation? Fear of failure? Be honest. Be specific. And as you name it, just observe. Feel your shoulders drop, that subtle release of tension in your jaw, that slight easing in your chest. You've just performed a profound, powerful act of self-regulation. You've just hacked into the same neural circuitry that Navy SEALs use to stay incredibly calm and frosty under immense pressure. They don't just ignore fear. They identify it, label it, and then they can strategically respond. You're doing the same thing, bringing conscious awareness to an unconscious reaction. And in doing so, you're reclaiming your power. This isn't about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent, giving yourself the space to choose your response rather than just react. Now let's move on to our second powerful habit. And this one is all about rethinking how we approach rest and recovery. We live in a world that often tells us to push, and then plummet on the weekend, hoping 2 days can somehow erase 5 days of relentless stress. But what if there was a better way? What if you could build resilience not by waiting for the weekend, those 2 days, but by strategically weaving tiny moments of recovery into the fabric of your busiest days? This habit is all about scheduling what I call micro recovery windows. The University of Constance, in some fascinating research, found something truly astounding. Just 60-second bursts of diaphragmatic breathing done 3 times a day actually lowers cortisol levels by a whopping 23% in just 2 weeks. Cortisol, my friend, is that stress hormone that keeps you wired, anxious, and makes your brain feels like it's wading through muck. Imagine reducing that by nearly a quarter with less than 3 minutes of effort a day. That's not just a hack, that's a superpower. So how do you do it? It's so simple. Set a random timer on your phone and label it something playful, something that reminds you to reset. Maybe breathe like a kid or brain recharge. When that timer buzzes, wherever you are, at your desk, in line for coffee, waiting for a meeting to start, take 5 seconds of diaphragmatic breaths. And here's the key. Exhale twice as long as you inhale. So if you inhale for a 3 count, exhale for a 6 count. If you inhale for a 4 count, exhale for an 8 count. Do that 5 times. That's it. You're not trying to achieve enlightenment. You're simply telling your body, hey, we're safe, everything is okay. This isn't about oxygen. It's about signaling to your nervous system. When you exhale longer than you inhale, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest system. You're literally convincing your brain that there's no immediate threat, that it can relax its guard. And when your brain feels safe, guess what happens? It keeps your prefrontal cortex online, that part of your brain responsible for rational thought, resourceful problem solving, creativity, and making excellent decisions. Without these micro recoveries, your brain gets stuck in a stress loop, and your prefrontal cortex goes offline, leaving you prone to emotional, impulsive, and often regretful choices. I've heard of high-stake traders, people whose livelihood depend on split-second, clear-headed decisions, implement this very strategy between bell rings. And the results? They shave 70% off their error rate. 70. Think about that impact. If it can help them in that high-pressure environment, imagine what it can do for you when you're facing a tough deadline, a challenging conversation, or just the everyday demands of life. These micro-recovery windows aren't a luxury. They're a necessity for maintaining mental clarity, emotional balance, and peak performance. Don't wait until you're completely depleted. Sprinkle these tiny moments of calm throughout your day and watch your resilience soar. Now let's talk about the third habit. I know what you're thinking. This sounds a little odd, but bear with me because this one is incredibly powerful and the science behind it is crystal clear. This habit is about reframing setbacks, overcoming challenges, and bolstering your perseverance by talking to yourself in the third person. Yeah, you heard that right. Instead of saying, I can do this, you say, your name, you could do this. Now, it might sound a bit quirky, like something out of a self-help parody, but studies from Michigan State University have proven that this simple linguistic shift can boost your perseverance by an incredible 28%. Let that sink in. Nearly a 30% increase in your ability to stick with something, to push through difficulty, just by changing a pronoun. So why does it work? When you mutter to yourself, your name, you've handled worse than this, or your name, remember how you overcame that challenge, you're creating a subtle but powerful psychological distance from the immediate emotional intensity of the situation. You activate what's called the self-control network in your brain, and simultaneously, you quiet down the emotional network that's screaming, danger, give up. It's almost like you're stepping outside of yourself, becoming your own wise counsel, your own best friend, your own seasoned mentor. Think about it. When a friend comes to you with a problem, you're often able to offer clearer, more rational, and more compassionate advice than you can give yourself in the heat of the moment, right? You see their situation with a broader perspective. You recall their past triumphs, and you speak to their strengths. Well, when you talk to yourself in the third person, you essentially trick your brain into assessing that same sage, sound perspective. You become instantly wiser, more resourceful, more capable of seeing the solution rather than just being overwhelmed by the problem. The next time the printer jams right before that crucial deadline, or a client unexpectedly cancels a big project, or even when you just feel stuck on a personal goal, pause. Instead of spiraling into the I can't believe I messed up, say your name, and then remind yourself of the evidence that you've coped with before. Okay, Vanessa, you've dealt with far more frustrating tech issues than this. Remember when you fixed X, Y, and Z? Or, Vanessa, this isn't the first time a plan has changed. You adapted the last time, and you'll adapt again. Your brain and its incredible capacity buys it every single time. It taps into your past resources, your inherent strength, and your capacity for problem solving. This isn't about deluding yourself. It's about strategically assessing your inner wisdom and resilience, transforming self-criticism into self-compassion and doubt into determination. It's a powerful way to remind yourself that you are capable, you are resourceful, and you have a track record for overcoming. Habit number 4, and this one is a true powerhouse for anyone who's felt trapped in a loop of negative thoughts, constantly replaying scenarios, or just carrying a heavy mental load. I call it two-way journaling, and it's a profound shift from traditional journaling. Here's how it works. Grab a piece of paper. Yes, an actual piece of paper. There's something tactile and grounding about it, and divide it vertically right down the middle. On the left side of the page, for a solid 2 minutes, I want you to unleash everything. This is your unfiltered, uncensored no holds barred venting section. Dump every single thought, every worry, every frustration, every raw emotion onto this side of the page. Don't worry about grammar, don't worry about spelling, don't worry about making sense. Just let it all out. Keep it raw, keep it real, keep it private. This is your personal mental trash can, and you're just emptying it. This act of externalizing your internal chaos is incredibly cathartic. It's like physically taking those swirling thoughts out of your head and placing them somewhere else, giving them form, and in doing so, reducing their power over you. UCLA stress trials have shown that this dual voice technique reduces ruminations, and ruminations is that relentless cycle of negative thoughts by an incredible 34% in just 4 days. Think of the mental freedom that could bring. Now here's where the magic truly happens. Once those 2 minutes of venting are up, shift your pen to the right side of the page. And on this side, you're going to answer yourself. But you're not just answering as you're answering as if you're counseling your wisest, most compassionate, most insightful buddy. What advice would you give them if they came to you with the exact same frustrations you just wrote down? What perspective would you offer? What practical steps might you suggest? What words of encouragement would you share? The left side, in essence, is dumping cortisol, that stress hormone that keeps you in a state of alert and anxiety. It's getting all that toxic emotional waste out. The right side, however, is actively making meaning. It's about making sense of the chaos, finding solutions, seeing the bigger picture, and cultivating self-compassion. And meaning, my friend, is the rocket fuel of resilience. When you can find meaning in your struggles, when you can extract lessons and growth from your challenges, you transform adversity into strength. This isn't just a journal. It's a dynamic dialogue with your deepest self, guided by your wisest self. It closes the loop on rumination, transforming it from a destructive cycle into a constructive conversation. It allows you to process emotions, gain clarity, and empower yourself with actionable insights, all from the comfort and privacy of your own mind and notebook. Try it. You'll be amazed at the clarity and peace it brings. Now let's get to the 5th habit, and I promise you, this one is going to sound weird, but please don't dismiss it because it is profoundly effective, invisible, and it requires absolutely zero equipment. We're talking about the tongue posture reset. A groundbreaking 2023 dental neurology paper, dental neurology, who knew, reveals something truly fascinating. Simply resting your tongue flat on the roof of your mouth actually stimulates your vagus nerve. And for those of you unfamiliar with the vagus nerve, it's a nerve. This nerve is like the superhighway of your nervous system, playing a critical role in regulating your heart rate, digestion, mood, and overall stress response. When you stimulate it this way, it literally upshifts your heart rate variability in a mere 35 seconds. Heart rate variability is a key indicator of your body's ability to adapt to stress and maintain balance. A higher variability means you're more resilient, more adaptable. So how do you do this magical invisible reset? It's so simple. You're not just letting your tongue flop around. You want to gently but firmly let the entire back third of your tongue touch the palate, the roof of your mouth. Imagine it like a suction cup gently adhering. Your mouth should be softly closed and you should be breathing smoothly through your nose. As you do this, consciously feel for a subtle softening. You might notice your jaw relaxing, your shoulders melting down from your ears, a sense of calm starting to spread. It's a tiny lever, but it opens a huge gate to your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. This is the ultimate stealth move for managing stress. You could do it during a tense Zoom call, while you're stuck in traffic, right before a difficult conversation, or whenever you notice yourself clenching your jaw or feeling that familiar tension creep in. Nobody will ever know you're doing it. You won't look like a lizard. You won't make any strange faces. It's completely internal. It's about retraining your body, even in the smallest ways, to find its natural state of calm. This isn't about your tongue. It's about leveraging an ancient built-in mechanism to regulate your entire nervous system. It's a direct line to your inner calm, available anytime, anywhere. So the next time you feel that stress building, just park your tongue where it belongs. Breathe through your nose and feel the shift. So let's bring this all back home. A quick recap of the 5 phenomenal micro practices that are your true cheat code to mental still. First, we talked about the power of the 90-second label. Quickly and specifically naming your emotion to diffuse that stress spiral before it takes over. Then we moved to micro recovery windows, those strategic 60-second bursts of diaphragmatic breathing that dramatically lowers cortisol and keeps your brain online. Third, we explored the subtle power of third-person pep talk, giving yourself compassionate, objective advice to boost perseverance and quiet the emotional noise. Our fourth habit was the two-way journaling, that transformative practice of venting unfiltered on one side and then counseling yourself with wisdom on the other, making meaning from chaos. And finally, the wonderfully weird tongue posture reset, activating your vagus nerve for instant calm and nervous system regulation. Stack these 5 habits, weave them into the tapestry of your daily life, and you won't just be coping, you'll be building a neurological shock absorber. You'll be transforming life's inevitable curveballs into manageable speed bumps, navigating them with grace, grit, and an unshakable inner calm. Now, because resilience isn't a solo sport, we are, after all, deeply social beings, I want to give you a bonus habit, a powerful 6 tool for your resilience toolkit. This one is all about leveraging the incredible power of connection and accountability, a 2-sentence community contract. Here's how it works. Text one trusted friend, one person you know who has your back, and say something like this: hey, if I ever start venting to you without seeking solutions, just tell me, process, or pivot. Why is this so important? Research from the Resilience Center in Tel Aviv has shown that a micro contract like this, a simple agreement with a trusted individual, can slash perceived stress by a staggering 19%. Think about that. Nearly a 20% reduction in how stressed you feel just by having this gentle, agreed upon nudge. The real reason it's profound? Social accountability. When we know someone is there to lovingly lift us higher, it lowers what psychologists call our threat appraisal. It means our brain perceives less danger in the situation because we're not facing it alone. We have a backup, a gentle guide. So often we get stuck in the cycle of venting, and while it can be cathartic in the short term, if it doesn't lead to processing or pivoting, it can actually deepen rumination. This contract gives your friend permission to gently redirect you. Process means diving deeper into the emotion, understanding its root, allowing yourself to feel it fully. Pivoting means shifting from complaint to constructive action, moving towards a solution. Keep it playful, keep it short, but get it in writing. This isn't about shutting down your feelings. It's about ensuring your emotional processing is constructive, leading you towards growth and resolution, not just endless circling. This simple act creates a powerful external support system that reinforces your internal resilience. So out of these 5 core habits, plus that bonus, which one hits you right now as the easiest win? Which one feels like the most accessible step you could take today right after this video? Drop the number 1 to 5, or if you're feeling bold and ready to embrace the wonderfully weird one, just type tongue in the comments below. I'm personally replying to the first 50 comments with personalized tweaks and suggestions to help you integrate these practices seamlessly into your life. So go ahead, race me to the comments section. And if you're hungry for more science-backed, real-world strategies you can actually use to build an unshakable life, don't walk, run to hit that subscribe button. It's right there waiting for you to unlock even more empowering insights. Join the community and let's keep growing together. Look, tough times aren't going extinct. They are an inevitable part of the human experience. Life will always throw its challenges, its curveballs, its moments that test your core. But here's the beautiful, empowering truth. Neither is your incredible, inherent ability to outsmart them. Your capacity for resilience, for bouncing back, for rising stronger is always within you, waiting to be cultivated. These aren't just tricks, they are intentional, scientifically backed micro habits that, when practiced consistently, don't just help you survive, they transform you. You won't just bounce back from adversity, you'll learn to bounce forward, propelled by the wisdom and strength gained from every challenge. It has been an absolute honor to share this time with you. Thank you for watching, for listening, and for committing to your own growth. And remember this, resilience isn't a trait you're either born with or not. It's a living, breathing, potent practice. It's a muscle you build one tiny, powerful habit at a time. Hey y'all, I'm Vanessa. This is Ways of Change. Remember, you're never too late and your peace is never too far. Bye now.